Okay, Hare Krishna, and please excuse me for being a little late. I just got back yesterday from Bogota, and we all have our natures. I get disoriented, and I travel. Imagine Prabhupada traveled around the world so many times, and my godbrothers travel. Um, I don't get sick, but I get disoriented. My sadhana goes down, and when I got back late afternoon, Tota had his famous chili preparation, one of my favorites. He left it in this tiffin, and there was an avocado and 2 fig Newtons and some almond, and I hadn't eaten all day, so my tilak is a bit weird today. Okay, so Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Taksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So, greetings from New Jersey. I just came back from Colombia, and it turned out to be quite a productive retreat, trip. In Cali, I gave class every morning and every evening for an hour and a half to a group of real selected people, and that was really nice. And then I spent 3 days in Bogota just exploring. Bhakti means I'm available for Krishna's service. So see what service he had. Some of you met Dalia from Colombia, and then she was on our Puri Yatra. And her husband Nanda, his father left him a very nice apartment in a good section of Colombia. Basically, 2 bedrooms, dining room, living room, really nice. And, it worked out nice. I have some connection with Colombia, for sure. Meeting people all day, and then it culminated with this lecture, and I went to this yoga studio, and probably the most beautiful yoga studio I've ever seen. On the bottom floor, it must have been a luxury apartment, but it was beautiful and so well organized, and even they had Prabhupada's books there, and I gave a lecture on forgiveness, and it wound up so nicely that the lady came to see me the next day and really wanted me to be kind of the spiritual guide of that place, and have, it's yours, develop it spiritually. So it was a great opportunity, and she was really, really a powerhouse. The way that place was organized, even how they cooked there and served prasadam, I was impressed. Like for a program like that, how do you serve prasadam? There were 40 people, but there was this, pushpa rice in the middle of a plate, these little plastic cups with these don't know if it was like cheese, a misty dahi with some blueberry in them and just a hot drink. Really nice. It was a waiting room with a bathroom where I was waiting and I was meeting people beforehand. And then all day long I was just, meeting people. And so, yeah, you could see how Krishna works. So today is two auspicious events. Wait a second, where I'm going here. Excuse me, I have to find out what I'm doing here. I'm sorry, this is a little bit more spaced out than normal. Okay, now I've got it down. So Mother's Day. Is it Mother's Day? It's Mother's Day. Of course, we glorify the mothers. You don't have children, you shouldn't feel bad. There are great Vaishnavis, Mother Jamuna and so many others who were free to serve selflessly, but we also glorify the mothers. I wrote that article, The Mind, Mother, and Food, describing that, and astrology. The fourth house and the moon are indicators of both the mind and the mother. So nurturing influences in one's life create emotionally healthy people. So that's good. And I really like this year that in my yatra in Govardhan, Mother Kishore Radha and Lagima Jashabhadra, I think. Is that right? That's it. So I liked it. I called them the Housewives in New Jersey. I know it's a show. I've never seen the show, but I liked the title. And the tea time as an item of devotional service, they were expert, and they participated in everything. And great, I thought people are amazed in the modern age that they had, like, I think 12 children between them. People, wow, how is that possible? How? I can't. But, they're children older now, and now they're more free with that part of their life, kind of. Okay, so, and also the people here, many of the people here will also be here at Jai Subhadra and Govardhan Lal's house. I'm looking forward to being with the community there, and again, anybody who's in town, I really want to make this program successful with Prem Prayojan Prabhu. I'm interested in non-sectarian Vaishnavism, and sectarian means two things. It means to artificially keep people out in the same family who can add something and nourish your community, and it also means sectarian means to come into a community with your own agenda. And when that happens, I just draw the line. And true to my tradition, never again. But I also like to have opportunities. And also I'm working with his two disciples in Colombia, which are really under my direction, is like their Siksha Guru. And they're fully committed to assisting me. So it's a reciprocal thing. So I want to reciprocate with him in that way. And also, he's probably one of the most learned Vaishnava scholars. Phenomenal Vaishnava scholar. So we'll see about that. Okay, so knowing that I'm not at my usual level of sadhana, the day after I travel is just, it takes a day to get focused. I have to admit it. Yeah, and actually, in Bogota, we went up to this, I forgot what it's called, but it's like this mountain. You got cable cars, or you got a like little train, and they have a beautiful temple on the top. And like there's a saying that there's no atheists in foxholes, World War II, if you know what those are, those troughs, and Mexico. There's also no atheists in Colombia either. And so you go up there, and I had my hooded sweatshirt. There's a little brown on there too. So beautiful, you can see how, deep, old peoples. I don't know how, because once you get up the hill, you have to walk like this Barsana type steps. I was huffing and puffing. It was high. Old people, older than me, somehow up there, and like deeply bowing down, deeply praying. And there's several churches, and I went in the back church, and I saw there were many confessionals. There was only one other person there, and I was sitting there. So people thought I was a priest. And I was absolving people of their sins. I couldn't tell them in Spanish that I wasn't a priest. I say, no, but I give you my. So yeah, we had some fun. So let's go now to how I'm going to deal with this Nṛsiṁha story. It's one of the most important and long stories in the Bhagavatam. I believe it contains the longest purport. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smara. I'm going to go around because I think we know the story, and I'll do that more. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Dasya, Sakya, Atmanavedanam, the 9 process devotional service. Yeah. Just imagine how furious his father was, because Vishnu killed his brother. And then his son becomes a devotee of the person who killed his brother. It would be kind of like either one if, the family was like MAGA, and their kid came home with like a Hillary Clinton shirt. Or, they were really, staunch Democrats, and their kid came home with a MAGA hat. I know at Kinshana, his parents are like, they're so upset about the election that they can't even turn on the TV anymore. They just read the New York Times. So he can't, Kinshana is just balanced, but some of his views are conservative. He can't. He was staying there for health treatment. He couldn't mention it. Imagine when he comes home. And he's just a Vaishnav. And how is he a Vaishnav? Because when his father, Hiranyakashipu, went to, perform austerities to get power. You get power by austerities because the universe is organized that way. The universe wants to encourage sacrifice. So if it's sacrifice, you get powers, because it just wants people to just sacrifice is the basic principle to get off the egotistical platform. So hayagya praja shrishva paro vacha prajapati anena pasavishyatu eshavo swishta kamadu. It's the basic principle. Nayam lokas yagyasya kutan without sacrifice. So it encourages sacrifice, but that principle can be abused also, because the universe is organized to respond to sacrifice. So it has to keep the faith. So it just operates under laws. So his father, wanting to take revenge, made these great austerity incredible austerity, powerful austerity. And he left, and then his mother was pregnant. I don't know about these men. How could they do that? Leave their pregnant wife alone? No culture, no dharma. It's because of your ambitions. Then he went to, she took help to some of the Ashram Narada Muni. She heard the Bhagavatam. In fact, in the other competing longest verse in the Bhagavatam, which is the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, the fourth verse, we should search for this directly and indirectly. Love of Godhead, prema. And it describes the universal applicability of devotional service. And that's a long, long purport. How there's no material prerequisite for bhakti. He gave every example of every species, gender, ethnicity, declension of grammar, everything. And it gave the example in the womb. In the womb, one can get bhakti if there is that vibration. So he became a great devotee, which freaked out his father. And the father asked him some question. He said, "You should, materialistic people should go to Vrindavan forest." What? Matir and the Krishna paratos matopayadjeta grihabhatanam adanta gobir vishatam tamisram punas charvitanam. Can't become Krishna conscious by any material means. Matir and the Krishna. Material life is like chewing the chewed. Right? Get an orange and eat it and give someone and try to get some more out of it. Each time you do it, you get less and less. That actually is the principle of material pleasure. Each time that you chew it, you get less and less. Except for that chili. I can tell you. It was too much. It was too much for me. That's why I'm just recovering. So, this story, it goes on, I think, for 7 or 8 chapters. And it presents Prahlad Maharaj. I mean, there's so many things, but just one thing of Prahlad Maharaj. Lord Chaitanya used to study the Bhagavatam. I'm taking this course by Bhaktivedanta Goswami of, like bringing the Bhagavatam to the highest level of meaning so you can look at everything in context. And he discussed the importance of the Bhagavatam, that Lord Chaitanya himself would study the Bhagavatam, and the speciality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's line to make the Bhagavatam as the exclusive pramana or means of knowing the absolute truth. And he goes through the history of pramana. This is what a scholar he is. He goes through the history of pramana and how it comes to Madhva and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, the Bhagavatam is enough. The Bhagavatam is the ultimate purana. And the example in our line in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was listening to the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva, not just the gopis. He was listening to Prahlad Maharaj to be inspired in unbroken and unmotivated devotional service. he couldn't be broken. He just couldn't be broken. And you can break something, anything, you can break something that someone's doing, say, stop this, I'll give you something better. Or give this up, or I'll give you more pain than giving it up. When it's unbroken, you can't give anything better, and you can't give greater pain than giving it up. And Jayadvaita Maharaj once gave me this short sociological study of how Christianity spread. It gave all the different reasons. I'm going to ask him again for that book. It was fascinating. But one reason was the martyrs. They got that bhakti from Jesus, and they were tortured, but they would say, you know, it's more torturous to give up Jesus. And I guarantee there are many of my God brothers would say the same thing about Prabhupada. I'm sure of it. No, there's no greater pain you can give me than giving up Prabhupada. So Prahlad was tortured. Snake bites. They tried to kill him by snake bites. Disgusting, even giving me like chills just thinking. I don't even want to do a manasa of that pastime. What that was like. It's stomping his kid under an elephant, brings him out to the elephant herd, stomp him. No, he could. First of all, it's also the Bhagavatam has many subject matters. Atasagas vasagas cha satir poshanam utaya manvatara ishakanta narodha muktir asya. It has so many, Bhagavatam has so many subject matters, but one is poshanam, protection. God is the maintainer and the protector. And that's the bhav of one in Dasya Rath. God is my maintainer. God is my... So Lord Chaitanya saw, it couldn't be... wow, Prahlad, his bhakti couldn't be broken. And he did it without motive, which means without an expectation. Love, if love has an expectation, it's not love. You just do it to please. So Prahlad really just set that incredible example. And then, his many verses, his preaching in the schoolhouse when he was just 5. His preaching in the schoolhouse to his children. What an example of a troublemaker. Spiritual troublemaker, a truth seeker. That bhav, that samskara for Krishna. Nothing's going to stop me from spreading Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada on the Jaladuta, he had so many. Prabhupada on the Jaladuta, he had so many. Prabhupada on the Jaladuta, he had so many obstacles, but he wouldn't give it up. Determination. Jiva doi Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. Jiva doi Krishna. Compassion for living entities by giving them the holy name of Krishna. Jiva doi. Jiva doi Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. So, Prahlad, and the verse, verse that he gave, Kumara Achar, speaking this is one of my favorite verses, or at least it's one of the verses I learned. I never spent too many time learning verses, but after preaching for so many years, teaching for so many years, you kind of remember him. Kumara Acharate Pragyo. Kumara Acharate, one who is young, his activities, if he's Pragyo, Gyami, Jnana, Pragyana, Pragyo, super intelligent. Kumara Acharate Pragyo, Dharman, Bhagavatam, Iha. He worships God. Prahlad's telling him, young Kumara, your children, I don't care your children. If you're intelligent, Kumara Acharate Pragyo, Dharman, Bhagavatam, Iha, Dulabam, Manasa Janma, this human form of life is difficult to obtain. Do we really realize how fortunate we are to have the human form of life? And what it's for, the human form of life? What that human life is for? Dulabam Manasa Tat Apyad Dhruvam Artadam. Okay. Tat Apyad Dhruvam Artadam. Even though adruvam, it is temporary, this human form of life, artadam, it contains value, because dharman bhagavatam iha, you can worship God. We forget. That's what we are made of. We're made of God. We're made for God. And we should dedicate our life to God. That's so wonderful. So intelligent. When someone dedicates himself to God. Prahlad's telling them this. This is not me preaching. This is Prahlad preaching. Tadapyad dhruvam artadam. It's temporary. There's millions, and philosophy of Krishna consciousness, there's millions of living entities in our body that are equal to us, their souls, millions, billions, microbes. How rare is this human form of life? Atato, Brahma, Jigyasa, now, not just this moment, but the moment after everything else, after all the Brahmanda, Brahmate, Konya Bhagavan, Jeev, Guru, Krishna, Prasadi, Pai, but after all these births, now, it's not it's hierarchical, not just a particular moment. Tato Brahma, Jigyasa, inquiry. Why I am suffering, Prabhupada said. We inquire. Why? What have I done wrong? What should I be doing? Who am I? What is more important than self-realization? So Prahlad was injecting this into his students in the classroom. And so many verses come from Prahlad or describing his. And then, of course, this is so many stories, but upset that his brother was killed and performing those austerities to get power. And then wanting to take revenge on Vishnu by destroying the Vaishnavas, destroying the Brahmins, by preventing their sacrifice. And when the demigods go to Vishnu, Vishnu just assures them, don't worry, he's already finished. I remember after Prabhupada, when there were 11 gurus, and it was like living kind of high, especially We were worried about one in Europe who was building big castles, and his Vyasa-san, I went to his temple once, and the Vyasa-san was like higher than my height practically. So we went to Srila Nṛsiṁha Maharaj, and we were concerned. Will this person fall down? Nṛsiṁha Maharaj said, he's already fallen. Soon left. But he's already fallen. He's already fallen. So therefore, when they go, I think it may be Lord Brahma, I'd have to look that up again, when they go to Lord Brahma and they inquire, what should we do? He said, he's already finished. Vaishnav aparad. Finished. It's a science. One reason I want to write this book on Vaishnava behavior, I'm going tomorrow to the Revals. Tota's driving me, and Patrick will come and pick me up, take me to the Super Soul Farm, and I'll do a program there. I'll stay through the Seva weekend, then I'll come back with Amala Vaishnav and Patrick on the 18th to greet Prem Priyojana Prabhu. I'll be there on time for the program for sure. I'll be there early because that's my nature. But then when I come back here to Tota's, I have no plans. I'm just gonna sit in my favorite seat here. It's great. I got like a great little desk here, and I got my favorite pictures on the wall. This is a place for that's it for my deities. I got my Bhajan Kuta, and I want to write that book. I want to write that book on Vaishnava behavior. I want to take like a little writing marathon, although my nature is not to concentrate too long, except for japa. Study is my mind. I'm just following about Krishna. Maharaj's advice that 15 minutes of teaching is worth 2 hours of study, Prabhupada told him. So most of my learning, so-called, comes because I've always taught. I know people had the opportunity, me, stay in Vrindavan for the year practically, or six months, and at a time where in Vrindavan, just every day I would give class. I don't care if there's 2 people or 30 people. I just gave class every day, every day, every day. Vaishnava behavior, aparad, radha, apa, away from radha, away from worship, offense. People don't take it serious enough. They destroy their bhakti. Tara madhye sarva shreshte nama sankirtan nira aparade poya paya prema. There are 10 offenses. There are Tara madhye sarva shreshte. There are 9 items of devotional service. Tara madhye sarva shreshte nama sankirtan, but the best. Taramadye, Sarvashreshte, Namasan, Sarvashreshte, of all the best, 9 items, Sarvashreshte, of all the best, chanting the holy name, Nira Aparade Poya, Prem. But if you chant it without offense, you can get holy name, you can get prema. This is the process. This will bring you everything. But when you commit offense, and we're not, it's very unforgiving, not light. We have to be very careful about that. So Hiranyakashipu, what he did to the Brahmins, he's already finished. He's already finished. And then I like that part This is very spontaneous because I still have to give another class on this. But I like the part at the end, right, where his father calls him in one final time, so upset. Dear father, just go to Vrindavan. Ah! You know, what are you doing? Shravanam, you should Shakirtan Vishnu. Chant about that. Tell the Democratic father, oh, dear dad, go to a MAGA rally. For there you will find everything you... Ah! Dad, here's a red cap, MAGA. Right? Ah! Ah! Tells his father. So his father gets, and then he says, well, Dad, God is everywhere. Is he in this pillar? Or as we say in Brooklyn, pillar. If he's in this pillar, if he's in this pillar, you can just see that I did not have my sadhana. I'm just so, whatever it is today. I mean, of course, I chanted at least 16, but I like to chant more, and I like to chant in seclude, so in a certain way. So I did the minimal today so far. Let's see if I could do more. Is he in this pillar? Pillar? Pillar. Is he in this pillar? Yes. Where there is no circumference, the center is everywhere. It's not, it's another dimension, God. It's another dimension. In this pillar, yeah. He is where one has faith. And Prahlad had faith. And he had faith in God's protection. Atvasagas vasagastas tatir poshanam. He had faith in his protection. And sure enough, he came out. And then we know this. We know the story and all the silly plays that go on in the Prahlad. One time there was a deprogramming case, and the opposing party brought into the classroom a picture of Nṛsiṁha-deva ripping up his father to try to show that we're a cult. It was a preaching opportunity, but I think we became hesitant to, God protects his devotees. There's no way to become eternal. There's no way to protect yourself forever unless you realize your eternal nature, because death is the illusion of non-existence. This is going to make me famous one day, this quote. Death is the illusion of non-existence. So the only way to be eternal is to realize you are. And if you don't, then Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Daratya Mameva Yaprapadyante Mayametam Tarantite. That divine energy creates the illusion that you're separate from God, but it's a dream. And dreams are temporary. There's no basis of that. So he couldn't fake his way out with the boon he got for all his austerities. He couldn't get around it, as we know. Couldn't, by a material means, get the benediction that you're not killed. You are already fallen. Once you identify with the body, you're already fallen. So this is one of the great stories of the Bhagavatam. There are so many parts to it. There are so many verses to it. Let's see. Maybe I finish. Why not? One second. Prahlad instructs his playmates. I don't do this, but I think this is good today because I've got to save something for this afternoon class. Okay, great. Prahlad's instructions. Kamara achare pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha dulabha manasanjam tarapyut. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of life from the very beginning of life, human form of body. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. I'm going to look for some other verses that are popular here and just see if we can. I thought there would be more that I knew, but I don't. Surprise. Yeah, in Colombia, we got back late from the program. Then I had to do something early next morning, go to bed, get full rest. Then I'm up. My wristwatch is not charged. I have no way to tell what time it is. Just lay in bed and enjoy. When I get out, I'm up after 3 hours, rested, fully concentrated. But then I think it caught up to me last night. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home, back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of God, is the most beloved, the master of the souls and the well-wishers of all living entities. Give me one throat. I think I'm kind of getting like a sore throat. Okay. Prahlad continued, my dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life according to one's past activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. Yeah, who's trying for distress? But it comes. Happiness comes too. I can see it. endeavors merely for sense gratification, material happiness, to economic development, not to be performed, for the result only in a loss of time and energy, with no actual profit. If one endeavors are directed towards Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There's no benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Most of, is coming by karma. But we think, we have to do our duty, but we think we're the only doers. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha hankarabha bunata kartahamiti. Okay, Jamuna Jaya. So,
Hare Krishna Raj.
okay,
Thank you for class. There was a lot there, but I really was taken with something you said towards the end about how Hiranyakashipu couldn't get what he wanted by material means. He wanted not to die, but if he had only gone to a spiritual plane, he would have gotten what he wanted, to understand that he's the eternal soul. So I never thought of it that way. I always look at him like, you big dummy, your body's gonna go, but he was just looking at it the wrong way. So I really appreciated that in my mind today.
yeah. Henry gave a comment that also the Russian devotees, they couldn't,
Yeah.
they wouldn't give up. And the title of my next Monday morning greetings is Queen Kunti is Right.
Mm.
Queen Kunti is right. Yeah, they were tortured. They couldn't give it up.
Mm.
Anybody else? Jai Shri Radhe. You got to speak louder.
I just got a headphone. Thank you so much for the class. And I really remembered one phrase of yours, that we are made of God, we are made for God, and we should dedicate our life to God. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Jai Shri Radhe, yeah. There's an interesting story that this girl was in Spain and finished college and was working and then was getting married. And then she had this inclination to go to India before she got married. So she put it on her school alumni. And then one girl that I knew in Colombia, very kind of high-end school, said, yeah, I know someone. It gave me, and she just came cold. Nice Catholic girl came cold. And she stayed a month, and she was telling me the whole story, what she was thinking at the time. She's the sweetest. She came to see me twice, Vanessa. And she's such a humble, such a sweet, but so she was organizing fashion shows internationally. Then she started organizing weddings. She organized 36 weddings last year. You make a lot of money from each wedding, 36 weddings. But she was remembering when she saw Jai Shri Radhe, she said, I never saw someone so white in my whole life. Because at that time, your natural thing is blonde. So, right? And some by Siberia. She said, I never saw someone. Please contact her. She wrote,
Actually, wrote to her.
yeah, she wrote me the most beautiful letter. Even the people at Columbia, when they saw her, I've never seen such a pious, sweet, humble person. She's amazing.
Very sweet.
But now, somehow or other, she's in that stage where, she's so grateful she came twice to see me. It was so funny. I'd never seen someone so white in my life. She said, but you did a great job. You took care of her. And yeah, please get in touch with her and speak to her again. Okay?
I will. I will.
She's really ready now to come forward in Krishna consciousness. in a nice way. Nice way. She's going to reduce it to like not more than 25 weddings a year or something like that. Okay, Haribo. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, it's Yvette. Thank you for class.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Where are you?
I'm in Philly. I'll be at the program later, so I'll see you later.
Amazing, amazing. What was the analogy you used? Like Philly and New York?
Oh, I said it was like Nṛsiṁha-deva, like half Philly, half New York.
That's such a great analogy, right? Right.
See you later.
Yeah,
Looking forward.
New York was the head. I don't know what Philadelphia was. At least it wasn't Philadelphia. I told that story many times with W.C. Fields from Philadelphia, and he got bored, and they opened up his epitaph on his tombstone. He was a comedian. At least it wasn't Philadelphia.
Well, I think you're changing your heart. Your heart is changing about Philly.
I'm completely changing now.
Okay. Good.
I'm going to Jersey. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, Kalachandra.
Thank you very much.
Oh, great to see both of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm kind of passionate because I flew yesterday and ate when you came back, but it's great. These South American people, the pious ones, they're so God conscious. It's amazing. Thank you, Haribo.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Gail, some question?
Well, I do have the question is, I was listening to a class on Nṛsiṁha-deva directly before this one, and I heard something that I never heard before about that pastime, and I was wondering if I could share it or
please share it.
Yeah, so everybody knows that Lord Nṛsiṁha-deva makes a garland of
intestines
of Hiranyakashipu.
Don't make one for me.
Huh?
Don't make one for me. Don't get it.
No, but I heard a different take on that garland today, which was that because it was through Hiranyakashipu's body that Prahlad, his very dear devotee, took birth, that is why he wanted to wear those intestines. So it was like out of affection, not out of affection.
Wait, repeat this again. Say it the whole thing again. I'm listening carefully.
Yes. So the garland that Lord Nṛsiṁha-deva made of Hiranyakashipu's intestines was not out of hate for Hiranyakashipu, but out of affection for Prahlad Maharaj, because it's through Hiranyakashipu that Prahlad took his birth. So
I don't like this analogy somehow.
What? It was. I mean, it's affection. It's affection. It's not.
I got it. But
why you don't like it?
Anyway, I can't even say why I don't like it. But anyway,
okay.
It's a nice analogy, but it's the intestines.
Well, I just see, I just love those that is it the Shanta version of Nṛsiṁha-deva, and so
the what?
How do you say the Shanta?
Oh, the Shanta, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a nice analogy. It's just
but you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just I can't even say what my sense of humor just gets too much for this one. But
oh boy, now everybody wants to hear it.
No, I'm going to tell it. But anyway, I'll have to make up another joke. Wow. What the hell are you doing wearing that garland? I want to honor my father after his funeral. Okay. Out of affection for him. Okay. Gail, I had to make up another joke rather than the one I was thinking, but okay. What else, Gail?
No, that's it.
I mean, there's things in our Shastra that we really have to go to the platform of meaning and not get the, wow. Okay. All right. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna Garaj, it's Lal Govinda.
Ambrosia, thank you for class.
We'll see you today, right? We'll have a great time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, Haribo.
Haribo.
Anybody else? I'll look at all the nice people that are coming. Okay, thank you all. Thank you all.